Hello and welcome to another episode of Mom Meets Life. I'm your host, Sarah. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing my Irish flag shirt. It's not really a real Irish flag. They don't have like gold shamrocks on their flag, but I am repping. I don't know how you say it. I'm trying to be cool. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. I'm recording this the night before because I would like to have, maybe a green beer or two. I don't know. Probably not. My children are on spring break it's like our school is weird. They do like a whole week and then 2 days either the week before the break or the week after. So it's like a full 7 school days that they're out for fall break and spring break. I don't remember having a fall break when I was their age or ever. I don't know if that's like a northern thing versus a southern thing. I have no idea, but it is an odd thing. But spring break we always had. And my kids are on spring break for the next 5 business days, which means it is very hard to work while they're on spring break. And I have no plans. We didn't do a vacation this year. We probably will in the summer, but it's frustrating. So my mother is coming to get the kids, and they are going for a fun little week away locally, and I will be home alone, which is bittersweet. I've got a lot of work to do, and yeah, I might make myself like a green drink of some kind. I'm not sure. We'll see. So, with that, happy St. Patrick's Day, and let's get into it. So, I've always said I'm going to be as honest and real as possible with my followers anytime I do a podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, my nose is like really red today. It went from like literally 70 degrees yesterday to 25 today. It had like tornadic weather events last night throughout the South, and then today it was snowing. Like, make that make sense in March. So, I've been cold, and I noticed my nose. I was like, my nose is red. I just did a cross-eyed thing. My nose is red. I'm like, I'm freezing. So this is kind of sucky, but you know what? It is what it is. And I'm like, should I put makeup on? No, this is what I look like. I also am getting used to these bangs still. If you've been following the bang saga, sounds like a porno. I cannot figure out like what to do with them. So at the end of the day, I've worked full day of work, fed the kids, all the things, and then I'm like, let's record a podcast episode. So I think most women would be like, "Let me shower and make sure I look perfect." I don't give a fuck. If you do, then watch someone else. I don't care. So today we're going to talk about dating again. It's been a little bit since we've had a dating conversation because I gave up on dating. And so that well hath runneth dry. It's been a very peaceful time, I will say. But there have been some fun little events in my life. So I'm going to talk about that. But I do want to talk about rules and regulations with the dating. It feels like a sportsmanship event. Like, I feel like you have to be like on at all times when it comes to dating. I didn't realize there were that many rules when I first was single after my divorce. I think the world has changed a lot. Like, when I met my ex-husband, we were dating when I was 15. So maybe there were rules and I just didn't know it because I was young. But I feel like there's a lot of bullshit rules out there. And I think the internet has ruined, I don't think, the internet has ruined dating in general. Like, our society has absolutely ruined it. And the people who are out there spreading crazy messages have ruined it too. So if I say something about a rule or a regulation where you're like, I don't agree with that, that's totally fine. But I want to encourage you to find what works for you within reason. Like, don't be a stalker. If I talk about texting, like, oh, don't text too much. And like, you're like, I'm going to blow up their phone because I feel like it. Like, that's a little creepy. But I think that there are good boundaries you can have, and not everyone does. And I think other people are their true authentic selves and it doesn't vibe with other people. So we then classify that as they didn't do something right. And I don't think that's the correct way to look at it. So we're going to get into rules and regulations. So let's start this off by talking about my DMs. So I don't know when DMing became a term. I know that it means direct messaging or direct message. Yeah, do I know what it means? No. It's a direct message to you on your socials. And people started to use the term DMing. It used to be PMing. Like, when I first started in social media for marketing, it was PM us. Like, you would say private message us, and then it turned to DM us. Or like back in the day, I would just say, send us a message on Facebook. Now it's send us a DM. And this whole like act of someone being in your DMs is just such a foreign concept to me. And I hate even saying it. But the past few weeks, I do not know what has happened in the universe. I know Mercury's in the microwave or something, but there's something going on where I have had so many people show up out of nowhere in my direct messages or DMs, as Lizzo would say. It feels like a Lizzo song. I'm like, what am I doing here? Where did they come from? I don't know these people. And it's been a lot. I'd say not a lot. It's been 100% men. Most of them are single. I will tell you this right now. If you are a man who is married, you have no business friending a single woman on Facebook. You just don't, or Instagram or whatever the cool kids use. I use Facebook and TikTok, but I need to get an Instagram. I know it's a whole thing, but you have no business becoming a friend on Facebook with a single woman when you're a married man. You have no business. So there were a couple guys recently who have been in relationships. I'm like, oh, I don't know who this is. Maybe it's a friend of a friend. We have like a mutual friend. I'm thinking, oh, maybe they're a fan of the podcast or something. And I look and they have like very buried down deep. You'll find something about their wives, but they're like liking your stuff. And it's just creepy. Don't do that. Like focus on your wife. And at this point, if there is a man, if I find out you have a girlfriend, you're in a relationship, you're married, whatever, and you're messaging me and you're trying to add me on Facebook, you're dead to me and I will message your wife. So back off. And ladies, if your man is on there and like his entire list is single women, anyway, I have had a lot of people show up. I'm like, oh, this is different. There was a guy who messaged me and he's been a good conversationalist like in the very beginning, but then he started to mansplain things to me and that irritated the fuck out of me. And then he told me what I needed to do with my podcast to monetize it. And I'm like, who, excuse me, did you like put your whole fist up your ass and pull out the audacity to talk to me? Like that made me really mad. And I think he was trying to be respectful, but don't ever do that. Don't ever do that to a single woman who's like building something on her own. Oh, you should do this. How about no? Not happening. So he was one of those guys that was really like hitting it heavy from the beginning, like tons of messages and like, tell me about you and let me get to know you. And I'd love to take you on a date. And I'm like, okay. And this is in like January. It's March, sir. And you haven't asked me on a date. So you have gone to the graveyard. Doesn't mean I won't still be nice to these people. And I sound creepy. Like I'm not trying to get anything out of them. Like I'll still be your friend. Like we can talk. You're a single guy. I'm a single girl. Like you're a nice person, but no, we're not going on a date. You blew your chance. And there's a lot of single guys who will add single women and they just like watch them like passively. Like I can see you watching my stories. I don't know if you know this on Facebook. There's a person in particular who I've known for a very long time who's watched my stories on Facebook. I can see that you're watching them. I don't know if you know that. If you don't follow my page, I can see that you're watching my stories. So I see every time that you do. So just putting that out there. Anyway, I get these people who will just like passively watch what I'm doing. And they'll even like on the Mom Meets Life Facebook page, they won't follow it, but they'll watch my stories and like just passively watch from afar. Like if you're going to stalk me, at least like give me some credit. Like become a follower on Mom Meets Life. Like that would be great. But they don't. They just like quietly sit and stare. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But there are a lot of men that do this. I don't know what you get out of it. Like, are you like, I think it's creepy. I think you're just sitting behind your phone like, oh yeah, look at her pictures. Like, ew. Like say something, engage. Like if you're my friend on social media, be my friend on social media. My Facebook is locked down. I have less than 200 friends on my Facebook. It's very private. I don't post anything publicly. I think the only public thing I have is my profile picture, my cover photo, and one episode of Mom Meets Life so that I could tie it to myself. But I don't put a lot out there. When you are my friend on Facebook, that's when I talk about my life and my family and all the things. But that's just for my friends. So if you're my friend on Facebook, like interact with me, say something nice, like let's be friends, let's like each other's photos. Like I try to be involved with my friends' lives. Like why would you just add someone to be like, let me just sit back and watch you? Yeah. I saw that reel of you eating McDonald's. It was great. Yeah. And I love when men send you a message like, you're so funny. Thank you. I know. Be original. Come on. I know that they mean well and they mean it to be a compliment, but it's just like, you're telling me things I already know. Like, you think I put like humor reels out there with like hashtag comedy just because I think like, oh, this is a very serious reel. No, I know that it's funny. Like, I have good comedic timing. I'm putting it out there for a reason. I'm goofy, like that's who I am. And my God, you're so funny. You'll say that in a private message, but not say it on the actual video where it could get traction. So, like, if you're gonna compliment me, do it publicly. Let's both benefit from this, shall we? So I was getting kind of irritated with these just random DMs and like, I've given up on dating. I gave it to God. When I say given up, like it's not like, oh, I was just kind of passively joining groups and like on a few apps and like seeing what happened. I gave up. I said, no more. I am done since the last guy that I dated went to jail. I was like, and that's it. We cannot do this. Like, this guy came across as super nice, and he was one of those men that, like, everything that's happened to him is someone else's fault. And he did a really good job of just making you believe that and making you feel sorry for him. I don't want to feel sorry for a man. I don't. I want a man. I want a man that I can look up to and be like, yep, that's the one. Not, oh, you poor thing. So much has happened to you. Like, shit happens to all of us. I don't sit around like, can you believe that this is my life? Like, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I want to be strong and independent and successful. And that's what I am. And in the same sense, I would love a man who is the same. I don't want to look at you and be like, oh, you poor thing. That woman was so mean to you. No, you probably deserved it. I'm going to say it. If a woman's mean to you, what'd you do, man? Like, that sounds totally sexist, but 99% of the time, you probably did something stupid. But yes, I gave up on dating. I was just done with it. There was no part of me that wanted to even go on a date. I had that really creepy guy from Facebook who I'm sure he's watching this right now. Hello, I'm talking to you. Just, I have to put it out there to say, if you see this, this isn't me trying to like send you a message from beyond to say that I'm into you. I am not into you. That is why I blocked you on all of the things. So don't take this as anything other than that. But the creepy guy that reached out to me and would not stop messaging, who I said, like, you need to back off. This is too much. He found me on a group when I was doing podcast research. And he's like, I think you're funny. I think you're smart. I'd love to talk to you. Cool. Let's talk. He lived in my town. He was messaging me so much and he wanted to go on a date like that night. I'm like, no, buddy, like it doesn't work that way. It was way too much too soon. And his excuse was, oh, I'm so sorry. Like the fact that you would give me a chance just got me really excited and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll see where this goes. And he just kept disrespecting that boundary. He was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is what you look like. I mean, you may not be crazy. Sorry if I'm slandering you, but it was weird. So I told you, don't contact me again. Then he fucking messages me on another social media platform. Like, hey, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry if I came across too strong. Like, yeah, that's really going to help your case, buddy. Anyway, I wasn't dating, and this was like the first person that I had considered, well, maybe if the universe, if God's like, oh, well, this guy kind of reached out to you, maybe I'll go for that. And I said, no, like, this is fucking creepy. Never again will I do this. So I get a DM from a man, and it's a man, not like a little boy with like his cool haircut, like coming from the barber shop, like, yeah, no cap, man, no cap, whatever they say. I don't know. Gen Zers are weird. They're like, I was born in 2003. Yeah, I live with my mom. I like kombucha. I like my strawberry banana vape. I put a new subwoofer in my Honda Civic. Anyway, this is a guy who's older than me, not like significantly older than me, but enough that I'm like, okay, who is this? Like, what's going on? So he adds me on Facebook and he sends me a message and he's like, hey, I found your podcast. I really enjoyed it and I couldn't stop watching it. And I wanted to tell you that. I'm like, all right, bonus points. Like, compliment the girl. Very good. Very good. Like, let's see where this is going. But I was not thinking much of it because, as you know, historically things have not worked out very well for me, especially with men from the interwebs. And to my surprise, the conversation flowed very well. There was no obsessive behavior. There was no love bombing. Like, it just felt natural. And then, also to my surprise, I find out he attends the same church that I do, which is very important to me. Faith is my number one. I've been getting closer to God in my relationship there. I have found a church that I love. I really love it for my family. And I keep thinking, like, it would be really cool to meet someone that would want to go to church with me who isn't like a fair weather Christian, like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, and they only go on like Easter or whatever. So the fact that he went to my church, I'm like, okay, bonus points. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty hot. That helps. The creepy guy that was, like, blowing up all of my messages sent me a picture once, and it was like, he's like, "Ugh." It was like this weird selfie, and he's looking at the camera all seductively, and all I see is just this sea of hairy chest, and I'm like, "Ugh." It was the creepiest. Men, don't do that. Just don't do it. You might see it, like, on Instagram, and you may see a man doing that. If a man is doing that, he's most likely a gay model. Like, don't do that because you look really ridiculous, and no part of me is like, "That's the one." That's how no, it's so creepy, especially, like, the just woke up pictures where they're, like they put the phone up, they have no shirt on, and they're, like, looking up from their pillow, like, and then they do, like, the duck lips, like, mm. No, it's fucking creepy. No part of me looks at that and thinks, "That is a super masculine man." I look at that and think, wow, what filter is he using? Because that is ridiculous. I'm not a fan. Don't do that. Just don't do it. And we're gonna talk about rules and regulations. Like, again, I'm gonna say stuff, you may not agree with it, but trust me, that is not a masculine thing to do. Do not do that. Selfies are fine. Take a selfie. I don't care where you take a selfie. Take it in your car. Take it at the baseball field. Whatever. Like, hey, look, I'm out on a hike. Look at me. But don't do the seductive, like, yeah, baby, I need you face. Like, all you're gonna give me is a stomach ache. Anyway, the guy is also hot, and I like older guys. And when I say older, he's not like 30 years older than me. He's like more than a decade older than me, which is good. I've dated men younger than me who are just fucking stupid. I've dated men my age who are just fucking stupid. I've also dated older guys who are just fucking stupid. So I guess my conversation track here is going nowhere. But of all the men that I've dated, I do like older men for a good reason. And it is because typically they have like their life in order more so than younger men. Not always the case. I have met younger men who really seem to have it together. A lot of older men have lived a life. They have, had the kids. Their kids are older sometimes, which is also nice. Like, not that I don't love kids. I have been through that phase with my kids, and if they're younger than mine, I don't want to go down that road. It's just not for me. So he messaged me and he did things the right way. And the right way is to not just sit in a woman's DMs for months. Like, again, the guy that did that originally, who will just like randomly message me, every time he does it, it's about the weather. It's raining today. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, of course. Why do I need a weather update from you? Like, did I pay to subscribe to your weather service? No, like, shut the fuck up. So this guy would message, like, the weather's rainy. It snowed a lot. Like, okay. If all you have to bring to a conversation is the weather, get some hobbies. Or stop messaging someone. Like, the conversation isn't going anywhere. If you have to force conversation like that, it's not natural. And I've just given up. The hot guy who messaged me did it correctly. How's your day going? How's this? Like, let's talk about life. Let's talk about faith. Let's talk about our pasts. Like, we had very good conversation. Then he asked for my phone number, like a gentleman. Like, if you're comfortable giving this, I would love to know your number. I'm like, absolutely. Here's my number. Then he did something that men just, I feel like they've forgotten how to do. He asked me out on a date. Not only did he ask me out on a date, he named the place, the date, and the time that he would like to go. I didn't have to plan anything. And you would think that's bare minimum behavior, like, not in a bad way. Like, he's giving the bare minimum. Like, you'd think, like, duh, they should do that. They don't do that anymore. They're always like, where do you want to go? Oh, you live here? Well, where do you want to meet? I want to make it convenient for you. Fucking plan the date, man. I have to plan everything in my life. I don't want to go on a date with a man who's like, do you like tacos? Is there anything you don't like? Like, if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. If you're like, oh, let's go to this shrimp restaurant. I'm like, oh, actually, I don't like shrimp. I'm going to speak up. And like, just fucking plan the date. If she doesn't like it, she's going to tell you. When have you ever known a woman to not speak up about something that you're about to eat? Like, we talk. We will argue with you about dinner all day long. Bring it up. Also, the coffee dates. Gentlemen, no. If you're, no. I went on a coffee date with a guy, and to me, a coffee date is I am broke as shit, and this is a cheap option to see if I like you. No. talk for a little bit, talk on the phone. If you want to go for a walk, go for a hike or something, do that. Don't go for coffee. Like, here, I put $7 into the Starbucks to see if you want to date me. And the guy I went on a date with was like all over me after he's like, I just can't wait to make out with you. I'm like, I just drank a $7 Starbucks. I have like that to me, that does not equate to like, we had coffee. Now we're going to make out in a parking lot. Like, ew. Anyway, I'm not a fan of coffee dates. I don't like them. I think some people like them. You might meet a girl who's like, you know what? I love a coffee date. It's casual. It's easy. It's like during the day, you get home early enough to see if you like, it's kind of like a pre-date. Like it's a phone screen interview before you go into the real interview, which if you're in the world of dating, sure, go for it. But I'm not in the world of dating. I want to go, if I'm actually going to put effort into something, I want to go on an actual date. So take me on an actual date. So he took me on an actual date. And because he lives in my town and I did a thorough background check, I allowed him to pick me up for this date. So he picks me up. We go to this date. We get there. Our waiter is like 22 years old. He's just a kid and he's joking. And it's a Friday at like not even 5 p.m. And the kid is like, so we starting with double shots of Patron tonight? Yeah, like being goofy. And he's like, if you buy a double shot, it's actually cheaper than buying 2 shots individually. And the guy I went on a date with was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to start. And I promised myself I'd have like a drink or two. Double shots of Patron proved me wrong, but it was super fun. And we got appetizers, a few more drinks, and we actually went to a local liquor store, which is popular around here. I got us some seltzers. We came back to my house. That sounds like things are moving in a very fast direction. They're not. We had our seltzers. We sat on the deck. It was a beautiful night. Talked about life, talked about our pasts, and then we went for a walk and we went to the duck pond and we looked at ducks. And it was a beautiful, like, clear night, like lovely, lovely date. And gentlemen, that is how you do it. And also, whilst at dinner, there was no conversation of who is going to pay for the meal. He just did it. There was no hesitation. It was just, yep, here we go. That was refreshing. The fact that I even have to say that, like, that there are men out there. I had a guy friend who would get mad. He's like, I don't mind paying for the first date, but like the fact that she didn't even like try. Why would we try? Pay for the first date. Like, whatever bullshit toxic masculinity podcast you're listening to, stop it. Just stop listening to them. So I mentioned to him that the next day I potentially have brunch plans with one of my friends and her husband. And I was like, not to be too forward, but we're going to go to brunch if you want to go. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. That's a lot coming from, I have mentioned this on a previous episode. I told a guy that I went on a date with, we had bantered back and forth after the date. And I was like, yeah, I'm happy you moved here because I kind of like you. And the guy was like, this is moving too fast. I can't handle this. And then another guy I went on a date with, I asked, we were talking about brunch during dinner. And he's like, yeah, tell me about brunch later. Like if you go. And I texted him, was like, hey, I went to brunch. And he was so upset about it. And he got super quiet for the rest of the day. I asked him, are you still feeling this? Like, I feel like something's off. He's like, I'm glad you asked. You asking me to brunch was just way too pushy. And I'm not ready for that right now. I don't think I'm ready to date. I'm like, why the fuck are you on a dating app then, dumbass? Anyway, brunch was just too much for him to handle. His ex-wife also left him because she thought he was gay. So I'm just going to put that out there. Again, my level of petty. I've reached a whole new level now. If you've been a dick to me, I will talk about you on this podcast, damn it. So when I mentioned brunch and he was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm like, really? Okay. So we made a plan for him to come here. The brunch place is like half an hour away. And I said, why don't we just Uber there and get like brunch drinks? When I tell you we got brunch drinks, I mean we got brunch drinks. We stayed at this restaurant for 5 hours and we had carafe upon carafe upon carafe of mimosas. It was awesome. We had the best time. And you could tell, like, if you're meeting one of my friends and they're like watching you like a hawk, you can tell if they're like, this is a good guy for you. And my friend's looking at him and she kind of gave me this this nod, like the stamp of approval. I'm like, yeah, that's it. So at the end of this meal, again, we were there 5 hours. We had a lot to drink. We had a lot to eat. It was great. He just takes the check. Like, he's like, one check. And they're like, no, don't. He's like, no, I got it. I'm like, what? And again, money is not everything, but it's just such a like baller move And I'm just not used to that. The guy that went to jail when we went to Taco Bell once, his card declined, and then he had to mansplain to me how money works. And I'm like, I know that things get. He's like, it didn't get deposited. It didn't get my VA benefits. Blah blah. Blah. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. I know about VA benefits. You're just full of shit, and you have no money. It was Taco Bell, sir, not Ruth Chris Steakhouse. But he was also the first to tell you what a high value man he was. So it's very entertaining. If you can't pay for Taco Bell, you don't get to call yourself a high value man. What do I know? So to go from that to a man is just like, I got this. And it's not, he wasn't doing it to like show off. He just genuinely was like, we had a great time. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, sure, I got this. I'm like, all right then. But there is something about a man who can pay for things and who can, I don't want to say take care of you, because you know my views are not like, oh, the man is here to provide for me and he's going to bring me my supper by going out into the field and killing something fast and skinning it alive while I cook it over our homestead fireplace. That's not what I think. But I do think it is attractive when a man can provide something that you don't already have. My first rule, we'll get into the rules now. If you are a man, you need to outman the woman you are pursuing. And you could say, oh, you know, she's just really dominant. Well, she needs to be more feminine. A lot of times we don't have the opportunity to be more feminine because we are handling everything. I am the breadwinner. I'm the provider for my children. I'm a career woman. I do all of the things. At the end of the day, I do not need a man who's like, oh, my card declined at Taco Bell. No. Do you think that's going to work? No. It's not. Spoiler alert, it won't. But if you have a man where you're like, oh my God, like everything has fallen apart this week. I forgot this, like this payment's due and I completely forgot it. And you have a guy who's like, oh, don't worry, I took care of it. It's like, huh, Taco Bell man is not going to be doing that. Just saying. Taco Bell man will always be pushing hard to try to be better, but he'll never be able to outman you. You don't want a guy like that. Like you want to feel feminine. And in order to feel feminine, you need a man in your life, like to make you feel that way when you're dating. I can feel feminine without a man. I feel feminine all the time. Well, I mean, I curse like a sailor and I belch. I did win the belching contest in 5th grade. Doesn't mean I'm not feminine. I have good feminine energy. I love to bring that to the world. I love to bring that in what I do. I love that side of me. But my real feminine era comes out when there is a man who is also a masculine influence in my life. And then I feel like, okay, I don't have to be so masculine. Like he can be masculine. So men, if you do not outman the woman you are dating, find a different woman. Or grow a pair. But it's probably easier for you to find a different woman. Not gonna lie. Because there's a lot of men who don't want to change. They're like, I'm fine the way I am. I'm a high value man. I can't pay for Taco Bell, but I'm a high value man. Find another woman. Or better yet, find a man. I don't know. Okay, so I briefly spoke on another rule, which is who pays in a dating scenario. I believe the man should always pay on a first date. He should always do it. I watched this documentary on toxic masculinity and these podcasters who were like, men, you need to have a hot woman who's never slept with anyone, who has no baggage, no this, and you need to be a high value man to provide for that woman. And yeah, like we need to be like bros together and be gym bros and gym rats and whatever. And it was a lot to watch it because I'd say 95% of the men who follow this are never going to be that way. They're trying so hard to be someone that they're not, that they're forgetting how to actually be a good person and to have a good relationship with a woman. They look at us as just objects. We are there to be subservient and make sure that everything that they could have ever needed is taken care of. Like, buddy, and no. I am happy in a relationship where I get to contribute and be a good partner to the man that I am with, but I am not there to be your slave. I am not there to look pretty all the time so that you're happy when I'm giving just as much, if not more than you are. And so I think that these men want to make a ton of money and want to out earn and want to be so dominant and all this because it's all they have. And in doing so, then someone is just forced to be with them and forced to love them. That is not what I'm saying when I say you need to outman a woman. I'm saying you need to be better than you are. And if you aren't bringing something to my table that I don't already have, I don't want it. It's like the Barbie movie, if you watch it, where like the Kens come in and start just like fucking up the world. and it's awful. Like, we made our beautiful Barbie dream houses for a reason. Please don't come in here and mess them up. Like, we're happy if you wanna come in and respect our space, but if you're gonna come in and be like, "Yeah, horses on the wall, and I got my Bud Light in the fridge, and you will be my woman," like, ew. So anyway, when it comes to paying for a date, I believe the man should always pay for the first date. After that, I think if a woman wants to say like, "Oh, I got this one," or whatever, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with, he pays for some, she pays for others. There are people who will tell you the man should pay for every date ever, which fine. Like honestly, if a guy is like, "I'm going to pay for every date ever," I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to be like, "Oh no, let me pay to feel like I'm contributing." I'll be like, go at it, man. You want to pay for anything. Anyone on this podcast is like, "I'm going to send you a gift card for dinner." I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you didn't have to." I'll be like, "Okay." I like Texas Roadhouse. Can I get extra rolls? But then you have the deeper conversation of, if you two were to be in a relationship or married, like how do you split the finances? I know people who have completely separate bank accounts. I know people like myself who had one bank account and my money was his money and vice versa, which isn't always the best thing in the world. But if you're in a committed relationship where you trust the other person, I think that's totally healthy. But there's this, I don't know if it's a Southern thing or this masculine, "I'm man, you'll do this" kind of thing, but there's this trend that I've seen with trad wives, especially, he goes to work, he provides for the family, and she's there and she's cooking dinners and everything. "Oh, my husband worked 16 hours today so I could get my nails done." And the man's like, "I put $30 on the counter for you to do your nails because I'm a man and it's what I do." Ew. I don't like that. That's not who I am. If you like that, great. I don't think there's anything wrong with you liking that. That's just not who I am. Ew. I just feel like I then owe someone something. Like, if I'm obviously, I'd contribute to the house and they're raising the kids and all this stuff. They're doing just as much, if not more, at the house. But the whole, like, I gave you an allowance. I'm not in like second grade. Like, "I swept the floors today. Do I get 25 cents added?" Like, it's weird. Ideally, I'd be in a relationship where you both make money and you have a bank account and you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, okay, if it's like kind of a big deal purchase, I'd say anything over like $500, I'd be like, "Hey, just so you know, blah, 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 blah. Tires flat. I have to get 2 new tires put on." Like, whatever. Like, let your partner know that. But like, if I'm going to get my nails done, I am surely not going to text a man and be like, "By the way, honey, I went and got my nails done today." One, he should not give a fuck. Two, no, I'm not doing that. But you also have to keep it within reason. I have known what it's like to have someone who's terrible at money and spends all of it. Like, "Oh, I did this and we did that and we can afford that." No, we can't, dumbass. Like, look at your finances, budget better. If you are a Christian, Dave Ramsey has some very opinionated topics when it comes to money. He talks about couples and like how they should spend their money together. He has like this financial peace university that he does at different churches. I love the idea of what Dave Ramsey talks about. I don't do it in practice. I could probably be better with budgeting. I think all of us could, but there are some very strong Christian opinions on how a household should be run, and you do with it as you will and what works for you. But when it comes to dating, the first date, the man should always pay. Oh, also, the guy that I went on a date with did open my door too for every time I got in and out of the car, which was lovely. Okay, another stupid rule: texting and communication. There are so many dumbass men out there who are like, "Oh yeah, she double texted me. She's too thirsty." Like, what does that even mean? She's thirsty. We're all thirsty. Shut the fuck up. But there's this whole thing about like texting too fast and not texting enough. And oh, what if I do that? We get so much shit about this in society. Like, people telling you, if you go on TikTok, you will see two different sides to the coin. It's either you're not texting enough or you're texting too much. You're not chasing enough or you're chasing too much. Like, do what works for you, but don't be an absolute psychopath about it. If someone's like, "Hey man, you're texting too much," maybe don't find them on another social media account and send them a message to say sorry for texting too much, because that's creepy. But if you send a text and you're like, "Hey, how was your day?" And 2 hours later, you're like, "Oh, by the way, I was in a car accident." Like, double text? Warranted. But if you send 15 text messages in a row, "Hey, I'm at work. I fed my dog today. I picked my nose this morning. I brushed my teeth at 4:30. Like, shut the fuck up. But communication is also one of those things where sometimes you have a style of communicating. I'm a very weird texter. Like, I have good grammar, which is unheard of these days. But I text the way that I talk. So when you're reading it, it's kind of funny. You're like, "Oh, I get it." Like, but you have to be kind of going with the flow of it. My brain works in weird ways, so my texts are funny and goofy and whatever. Sometimes people are not picking up when I'm laying down. They'll just text like LOL or just like thumbs up something. And that's not my style of texting. So I think that we can start to get anxious if someone's not giving us what we're putting out there. You have to take a step back and realize it's not you. It's not that. Like, it's just not compatible sometimes in the texting. If you want to call someone, call them on the phone. Maybe it's different. I don't know. Sometimes the communication style isn't going to work. And you know that early on. Like, oh, they seem like a great person, but they just don't have a good way of communicating. It's okay to take a step back from that and be like, I'm not good with this. Don't ever let anyone make you feel bad about, like, don't let a guy say, like, "Oh, you texted me twice on a Saturday night. Like, I was with my bros." It's like you're jumping into my personal boundaries. I'm sorry I interrupted beer pong to confirm plans for Sunday. But, back in the day before text message and before cell phones, they always said, like, "Oh, wait 3 days to call after a date." If I had to wait 3 days for someone to tell me what they thought of my date, I would have gone crazy. Like, it would have never been okay. So, the fact that, like, that is not a thing anymore is great. But I do think texting, you can do it within reason. Don't be obsessive. Don't come across as anxious. But even the fact that we have anxiety over it just sucks. That's the joy of dating. Okay, another rule. There are different opinions on this one for sure, depending on your gender, depending on your faith, depending on all the things. But there is a whole debate on when is it the right time to sleep with someone. And there are a lot of men out there who are like, if she hasn't slept with you by the third date, she's dead to you. Like, okay. As if, like, they sacrifice so much. Like, I'm sorry, I had good drinks and food and had to spend $100 to take you to dinner. She's dead to me because she won't this. Like, I've said it before. It feels like modern day prostitution. It does. Like, I think a timeline is weird. I don't like it. And I'm very black and white. So if you're like, oh, if by this date they haven't done this, I'm like, what constitutes a date? Coffee is not a date. I can constitute that right now. We should put that into a law. Coffee dates are not dates. They are for broke men who have no interest in actually pursuing you. But they want to see if giving the bare minimum will do it for you. And if it does, you need a therapist. But you also have to respect if someone says, I do not want to do this until it's been X amount of time, or I'm a Christian and I don't believe in doing this until we're married. That's something that you have to discuss, and that's something that you have to be okay with. And if someone says that, you need to respect that. I think there are some very pushy people out there who'd be like, oh, yeah, they said that, but it's okay. It's like when a guy who isn't a Christian dates a Christian girl and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Christian. And then she's like, okay, let's go to church. Let's talk about this. He's like, oh, I don't want to go to church. I don't feel comfortable there. If someone says something, you have to respect that boundary, whatever that rule is, whether it's the sleeping with someone before marriage, after marriage, like whatever the rule is, you have to respect it. If I say, hey, I go to bed at 10 p.m. every night on the dot, I do not like to be texted unless there is an absolute emergency and you text me at 11 p.m. What are you doing? You've crossed my boundary. You're dead to me. So I hate that whole debate of men saying, oh, if you don't by this time, then she's blah, blah, blah. Like, don't listen. If you're listening to men, again, I'm someone here on the internet that you probably don't know at all. And I'm saying, oh, you shouldn't do this. But I can tell you with certainty to not listen to these men because they are idiots. They're the most insecure, toxic masculinity fucktards on the internet. Don't listen to them. There's another trend. It's not really a rule, but it's a trend happening right now. I've seen it a lot on TikTok. I've seen it a lot coming from women. They will test a man to see if he will pass these tests. Oh my God. That is the dumbest thing ever. So they'll get like a friend to text him something and say like, hey, my name's blah, blah, blah. I met you at the bar a few months ago, checking to see if you're interested. And they're seeing like if he'll fall into the trap. First of all, there's probably something wrong with you. Like, how are you so insecure that you have to test a man? Like, that's weird. It's one thing if you're in a committed relationship and you think someone's cheating on you and you're like, okay, well, let's investigate this or do that, whatever. But to test him in the very beginning of the relationship, like, I want to see if he's for me or not for me. Like, Ew, no. Like, don't be in a relationship with someone who's jealous and always paranoid. If you're always paranoid, you probably have some hurt from your past that you need to work through. Or if the person you're dating has proven to you that they're not very trustworthy and you're trying to test them, don't be with them. Like, it's never going to get any better. Just let them go. So, that is one of the dumbest things I have seen. People in the dating world is testing each other. Like, and men are doing it too. Like, look on TikTok, look on Facebook, or I guess Instagram if you have Instagram. Look at this testing your partner theory or testing your new boyfriend to see what they'll do. I just, ew, it's cringy. I'm not testing anyone. My test is dating you. If you suck, then you're going to fail the test and you're not going to date me anymore. It's pretty simple. Another one is keeping a roster and doing this kind of serial dating. There is something that's known as the talking stage, where you are just kind of getting to know someone. You haven't committed to each other yet. You haven't said, like, hey, just so you know, I'm not seeing anyone. Like, I'm into you and you only. The fact that we have to do that, it's just weird. I don't like it. Like, if I don't talk to people. I'm not like, "Oh, yes, I have a roster of 75 men that I'm talking to." I don't have fucking time for that. I don't give a shit about that. If you are talking to someone who has a roster, they need to get a better job and make more money. They need to be busier. Like, there is no reason you should have more than a dozen people in your phone that you're talking to at one time. Like, "Hey, how's your day? How's your day?" Like, how do you keep up with that shit? I couldn't talk to more than one man at a time. Like, even keeping up with one guy and friends and family is enough for me. Like, how do you have multiple people that you're trying to pursue at the same time? Ew, no. That's why I don't like dating apps. I think it is so disingenuous. It's like, I'm going to talk to all of these people, and whoever piques my interest, it's dopamine. Whoever gives me the biggest dopamine hit at any given time is the person I'm going to focus my attention on. Men aren't pursuing you. They are going after whatever seems to give them the most attention at any given time. That's not pursuing. Let the man pursue you. Let someone pursue you. Let a relationship happen naturally. This bullshit dating app culture of, let me talk to 15 different people at one time, and oh, this girl updated her picture, and oh, she's got better looking boobs in this picture. Then she goes to the top of the list. Oh, but wait, this one messaged me back and seems interested in me. Like, she goes to the top of the list. Like, oh my God, stop it. Take a step back, get rid of the apps, and date people like a normal human being. Have a conversation with someone at a coffee shop. I'm not saying a coffee date. Look at a pretty person inside of Walmart and be like, hey, you seem really nice. It might creep her out. I don't know. I'm also not qualified to give you advice on this because I'm not a man. I don't know how it works for men. Get off the apps. That's like one of the best things I can say. And there's always some dating myth of like, well, I knew so and so and they have a happy relationship. It's always one person. There's one person out there that you know who found their partner on a dating app. There's never multiples. It's one person. Like, oh, well, my friend blah, blah, blah met her blah, blah, blah on this app. Okay, yes, that's one person. Again, one person. Your chances of actually meeting someone on a dating app, if you're dating that way, if you guys are acting that way on an app, I think are very slim. If you're on an app and you rarely get on there, you rarely match with people, and you finally match with someone, it's like, oh, kind of like them, and you talk naturally like normal human beings, then, and it's not transactional, I feel like there could be success there. But everything on a dating app, everything in culture right now is transactional. It's what are they going to give me if I give them this? And it's just not organic. That's not love. It's, let's look on a piece of paper and see, okay, they're this, they're in the height range I want, they're blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not buying a house, you're dating someone. Like, the guy that went to jail on a dating app, I met him on an app. He seemed great on paper. I'm a Christian. I'm this height. I have blue eyes. I like the blue eyes. They were nice. I believe in this. I'm like, cool. Like, we are aligned on a lot of things. But then when you actually get to know them, it's like, holy shit. Like, nowhere on there is it like, I've been divorced this amount of time. I have no money. I am an asshole. You won't know that till a few dates in, or like 8 coffee dates at that point. So no, rosters and serial dating are not the way to meet someone or really be in a committed relationship. That's not a rule I'm going to ever go by. And there are people that say like, oh, you can't get rid of your roster, or you shouldn't stop pursuing other people until they do this, and that. No, I don't have time for that. Again, I have a busy life. I love my kids. I love my career. Like, I have this podcast. Like, I don't have time to sift through the bullshit and be like, okay, maybe this is the one for me. I'm not seeking anything. I think we have too many rules. There's just so many rules in dating. I think there should be rules for a lot of things, like law and order and how we, you know, act as a society. There should be societal rules. There should be actual laws that we follow. That's okay. But when it comes to dating, we have so many differing opinions on, oh, if you want this, then that. And it's almost like you have to, on top of sifting through all the bullshit, you have to then find the people who have a like minded dating mindset as you. I feel like that's getting harder and harder to find. There's an episode in How I Met Your Mother where Ted goes to this agency. It's like a matchmaking agency. And she runs this algorithm that shows you how many people in the city you're compatible with. And she's like, okay, are you a man or a woman? Are you into men or women? And like that cuts out half the population. Are you this age? What are you looking for? That cuts out, three-quarters of the population. And by the time she's done with it, and he lives in New York City, it comes down to like 8 people. Like only 8 people would he be compatible with. And me, being the data nerd that I am, I actually did this myself. And I was going through, statistically speaking, how probable is it that I would find my match? And it was like out of the whole metropolitan area and surrounding counties of where I live, if just on paper we did everything taking out this, and this, it was like 1 to 2 people, and that was terrifying. And I remember doing these numbers, my kids were asking me what I was doing, and I told them, and my daughters are like, "Mom only has 1 to 2 people in this world that would love her." I'm like, "That's not what I said, but thank you." But I think if you take a step back and just stop listening to the bullshit and just really focus on being authentic and grounding yourself in what matters to you, the rest is going to come to you. Trust me. And I'm not saying like this person I went on a date with, like, now I'm an expert in relationships because this man came to me. That's not at all what I'm saying. I will never be that person. There's this woman on TikTok right now. I don't know her name, but she's like a famous influencer, and she's been in a relationship 3 months, and she hard launched this guy, which means she introduced her following to this guy. She's giving everyone advice on relationships now, and they're like, after 3 months, like, what do you know about this man? It's really cringy, and I never want to be that person. But I can tell you from a confidence perspective, since I gave up on dating, since I started to focus on what mattered in life, my faith, my family, my friends, my peace. I protected my peace. Protect your peace. If something is not bringing you peace, cut it loose. If something's bringing you anxiety and trauma and constant worry, cut it loose. When you do that and you are your authentic, happy self, the rest will fall into place. And you have to remember that God's timing is everything. Going through this statistical analysis of who I could be with someday, and it was only 1 to 2 people, I thought, no, I don't believe that. I believe in a God who moves mountains. I believe in a God that parted the Red Sea. I believe in a God that knows each and every one of us by name. He knew all of us before we were even the idea of us even came into existence for anyone. He knows every single one of us. That's the God that I choose to believe in and do believe in. And I'm not going to believe, again, I love numbers. Numbers don't lie, but faith is bigger than numbers. So when I see, oh, I could only be with 1 to 2 people based on my preferences, my God has a plan for me. Am I going to get married again? I have no fucking clue. Do I want to get married again? I have no fucking clue. No, I do someday. I think. As long as he can pay for Taco Bell, I think I'm all right. To any follower or listener or viewer, I don't know what to call you all. We have followers on Facebook. We have viewers on YouTube. We have listeners on Spotify. There we go. To any of you who happens to be following this podcast or listens to this episode, I hope you know that you are loved and you have a purpose on this earth. There's something for you out there. And I hope you don't put all of your eggs into this relationship basket. I think a lot of us think, oh, if we're not in a relationship, if someone isn't loving on us, then like there's something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to have a better half to be a whole person. Damn, that was a really good quote. Sometimes it just comes out. I'm like, wow, I sounded really smart there. You don't need to have a better half or another half to be a whole person. See, I said it again. I can't even remember how I said it the first time because I botched it the second time. Be a whole person in yourself. Love yourself. Get what you want out of this world. Find a job that you find purpose in. Find a friendship group that you love, that fills your cup. Find people that fill your cup. Not on a coffee date, but be authentically yourself and love who you are and see how it falls in place. Give yourself 30 days. Again, I'm not like some motivational speaker, but give yourself 30 days and see what happens after 30 days if you give it to God and just say, God, take it. Get off the apps. Stop the bullshit. Like, we went to speed dating and everyone there was so much older. Like, give up speed dating. Like, stop it. Just stop for 30 days and see what happens. Stop trying so hard to make everything happen when it's going to happen. What's for you is not going to pass you. It's not. It does mean, though, that you probably will have to leave the house. Put in some kind of effort. Although, getting men in my DMs who take me on dates, who met me online, I didn't actually have to leave the house. So that advice may be a moot point, but give yourself 30 days. Love yourself. Better yourself. Focus on you. Focus on God. Focus on things that make you better and see what happens. See how your life turns around. When I started this podcast, we're 14 episodes in. Episode 1 was after a very tough time in my life where I was like, oh my God, like my whole life is falling apart. I don't know who I am. I don't know who my friends are. I guess I'm going to start this podcast because it's something I always wanted to do. I would have never started this had this incident not happened. And I have told myself that if this reaches one person, I've done my job. And I've already had people message me and say, hey, I listened to this episode. I thought this, it really helped me. And I'm like, good, it was worth it then. If I can help more people, great. If not, it was worth it. So give yourself 30 days. See what happens. Do something you've always wanted to do. Try something different. Like go out there and be the person you've always wanted to be. Do it for 30 days and see what happens. And your rules, get rid of them. I feel like a real Tony Robbins moment there. if you're not watching on YouTube, I am ripping paper with the rules that I wrote down earlier for my outline of this show. So should I make it rain? Ow, almost got a paper cut. With that, thank you for listening to another episode of Mom Meets Life. If you are on spring break with your kids this week, Godspeed, my friends. I hope it goes well. I hope they have a great time. I hope you get some rest. If not, then I still hope you have a great week. Either way, and I will see you again on the next one.